Hello everybody and welcome to the Whiskey Dictionary. It's no secret that today's world is oversaturated in ads by people who truly understand human psychology and can market pretty much anything to you. And the whiskey industry is no different. In fact, there's a lot of money in it. So you end up with these terms on your bottles that mean little to nothing. So I'm here today to talk to you about 5 whiskey terms that mean absolutely nothing. Now, number 1 is handcrafted. Now, this is one that you'll commonly see on smaller craft distilleries because they are trying to stand out. They're trying to say, we're small, we've got our hands in every little bit of this, and that may actually be the truth. However, whiskey is very machine heavy. You are not boiling water using, a lighter. You are using a giant machine. And although you might have your hands somewhat involved, it is a term that actually means nothing. So much so, back in 2015, Jim Beam tried to make a case to have it on all of their bottles. And they'd actually won that case because, and I'm paraphrasing here, the judge said, no reasonable person would assume that this is actually made completely by hand. And Fred Minnick actually had a quote that I loved. He says, it's a throwaway term that adds nothing to bourbon. So good job, Fred. Nice. It was actually nice to see your name come up in an article. Number 2. Reserve. Now here's another term that sounds like it should mean more than it does, and we've been trained to think that by wine. Reserve does actually mean something when it comes to wine. Typically it means that you are going to get something a little nicer, but it also has some connotation to aging in the bottle prior to sale. Now whiskey doesn't do that. A lot of people still think it does, but whiskey does not age once it gets into the bottle. So reserve truly means nothing. You're not going into anybody's cellar. You're not finding their secret stash. It's not their reserve. It's just a term. Number 3, rare old. Bonus points if there's an E at the end of the word old. Now, the question I would ask is rarer than what? Older than what? This is very similar to when you see in marketing where it says less calories or, half off or something like that. It's half off what? Less calories than when? So it is a term that means basically nothing. And in fact, oddly enough, you end up seeing it on a lot of really inexpensive scotches. All right, number 4, limited edition. Now, there is a little bit of a thing here, so a little caveat. So if you have something that truly has a number on it and you can prove that it's limited edition, sure, of course that means limited edition. They only made so many of them. However, don't think that they're never going to make it again. That's something important to realize. But what they can get away with, like if I wanted to, or if I was the marketing manager at Jack Daniel's, I could put the term limited edition on every bottle of Old No. 7 because there's only so much matter in the universe. It is truly a limited product. So, number 5, and probably my favorite one. I was trying not to really bring out any bottles here because I don't want to bash anybody, but these two right here are kind of bad. The term is small batch. Small batch has kind of an implied meaning, but no legal definition. You could have 3 barrels in your small batch. You could have 50 barrels in your small batch. But you know what I'm going to tell you? Larceny is not very special small batch. Whatever that means, I don't believe it, because larceny is made from a ton of different barrels, and you're mixing to get a certain flavor profile. Same thing with Knob Creek. This is a small batch bourbon, and it is made from, last I checked, roughly 50 barrels in each batch. So they're all terms that mean basically nothing. Don't be sold by fancy looking words on a bottle. Know what you're buying. Watch channels like my own or any of the other whiskey tubers. Learn about your products that you're going to buy, and buy with knowledge. Thank you for joining me here on the Whiskey Dictionary, and I hope you have a great rest of your night. Cheers.